Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we're all about leveling up, elevating, and living our absolute best lives. Welcome back to another episode of this series of the Developing in Africa series. And I love this series because it turned negatives and my complaining into a positive, which is this series and all of these videos, giving you guys ideas on things that I notice we are lacking and we need desperately on the continent and in Uganda. So let's get right into this video. So today's video is all about food. I figured let's talk about how to invest in food. You know me guys, I always be eating. If you watch my vlogs, I love to eat. I love food. I love cuisines from around the world. I'm always eating something. Anyway, I figured why not do an episode dedicated to food. Let's get into it. So the first obvious thing I'm gonna mention is restaurants. We need more restaurants. We need more options. We don't even have fine dining, you guys. We don't have what's considered a fine dining restaurant. There's specific criteria you have to meet to be considered fine dining, and actually none of the restaurants in Uganda actually meet that criteria, not even Serena. So that's something to consider. I know we're not necessarily an environment or community that is really into that, but say you have other restaurants and you have just that, like, you know, you have businesses where you appease to the masses, and then you have that appease to the few. That would be one of them that appeases to the few. So that's one area to really consider, because there are people looking for interesting different places. We are creatures of habit. I will say that people really love and stick to what they're used to, but as someone who loves, like I said, loves cuisine, different cuisines and stuff, we really need more options. Just because there's a Mexican place doesn't mean it should be the only Mexican place. There should be like 5 other options. If there's a West African food, it should only be one, like bite of Benin, like give us some more. Like we just need more options. Sushi, I feel like we got options, but we still definitely need more. So I do challenge those who are abroad, who are really into the culinary cuisines and such, to really consider investing in Uganda, because we have so many people coming in and out. We're actually quite a hub for business, and I feel like if done correctly, especially the customer experience, from the decor to the customer service to the quality of food to the plating, those various different things, you could actually do really well. I've seen restaurants do crazy well here, and I'm like, the only thing that sets them apart really is customer service and decor. Like, just put in effort. No one's saying go and open up some big gigantic thing. You could start small and modestly and see where it goes and grow as your business grows, but we definitely need restaurants, guys. I'm just tired. I'm tired. We have like 5 options that I love, but I don't want to get tired of them. I want to be like, oh, I'm excited, I want to go eat there, but I'm constantly eating. Do you know what it feels like to swipe through Jumia and really feel like you have no options? Like, you're just there like crickets, and you just go boil your water and eat Indomie because you're just like, no. That's how I feel these days. I don't want to get sick of the places I love, so I don't want to frequent there often, but then it's like, what else do we have going on? It's quite sad. And then, make it worse, this is just Kampala. Think about if you live in Entebbe, Jinja, etc. Like, you have no options. It's wild. It's actually wild. So yeah. So in terms of restaurants, cuisine, and all of that, I have to definitely say bakeries. We definitely need bakeries. There are a lot of people who bake and deliver and do a phenomenal job and fantastic, which is great. But then I don't know what it is, but we don't have a lot of options of where you can go in and order good quality, or anyway, my idea of what I like anyway to my palate of baked goods. We love hard baked goods in Uganda. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. It explains my parents so much now. Like, I had to live here and realize and be like, oh my God, I just want, like, I forget all the terms my little sisters are always baking, but like just soft, fluffy cupcakes, soft, fluffy cakes with a buttercream on top. Things like that. Every grocery store has a bakery, and everything is dense. It's dense. Everything is just thick and dense, and I'm just like, I need a lot of water. I need a lot of milk. I need a lot, like, why? And I have such a sweet tooth. So for me, I'm just like, how? Also, barely can find mandazi. I'm like, why? It should be like the easiest thing. Not hard, not the dense, but the one where it's like thick on the outside and like really soft on the inside. You just take a bite and you're like, oh, love. That is what I want, you know? And I just feel like, A, we're really bad at marketing, so I'm sure they're there, but like we don't really know about them. I have a friend who does a phenomenal job, but she doesn't have a location, and you have to order pre-order. So if you want something like in this moment now, it's quite hard to find that. There are places like Yummy, where else, like Cafeseri, that do the day-to-day, but it's still like dense. Like, what if I want a macaroon with a soft interior? Like, oh, I just miss bakeries. Like, I miss baking. Not me baking. I miss eating the baking that occurred in my home in Canada. And now I'm just kind of like, where that? Where that though? Where that? And like, I'm a fan of kabalagala. I'm a fan of, you know, certain things, but it's just like, bruh, I just want a soft cake. I want a soft cupcake with a whipped cream on top, and I want the options. I want all of them. Sponge cake, ooh, coconut cake. Oh, so many things to eat. So few options. Moving to Africa, specifically Uganda, was really daunting with little to no information online about where to live, how to start a business, what to eat, where to hang out, all of that amazing stuff. So I figured I'd start a website where you can book a consultation with me and ask me whatever you like, and then also updates based on the diaspora community that we're growing here on YouTube. So definitely go and check out the website and join the community. The last thing I want to mention in this little mini video is fusion. One of the reasons why I love Asian food, like, and it's such if you think about it, it's so broad to be like Asian food. It's like saying African food. All the food's different in different places. But with Asian food, they have their particular dishes from their areas. But if you end up in places like when I went to Singapore, or like say you go to like the Malaysias or wherever, where you're like in a cusp of a bunch of other different types of countries, you end up with fusion. You end up with foods of like blended of different places and different things, and it's just so dope. And you're just like, wow, I didn't think you could do that much with peanut sauce. Like, literally peanut sauce. We have G-nut sauce. I had to go on a rant about this because I was literally ranting about this yesterday. So I was like, let me put this in the video. But we have G-nut sauce, and the most anyone will ever do is throw mushrooms in it and be like, I spiced it up or something, you know? And I'm just like, we could be doing so much more with our food. I hate to say it, I'm just the messenger, not the one who said it. However, from a worldwide perspective, every time people eat Ugandan food, they're like, it's rather bland. We're not into spices like that. Most people I know don't eat spice, and I didn't until like later in my life. But personally, now that I enjoy spice and I have an interesting palate, you know, where I'm at in life these days, I personally feel like we can do so much more. Like, why don't we play around with matoke and like add this and that to it and try and fuse it with something that's cool in another country and add like the meats and create like some fun culinary dishes and something cool and different. I do know of a chef that she does a great job actually, but she does pop-ups. It'd be so nice to get to a point where people can invest in people who are really doing really cool things and like create these restaurants that we friggin' need. We need them. I'm tired of the same places. But yeah, fusion is definitely necessary. That's one thing West Africans have up on us. They have a lot more interesting dishes because they play around with a lot more spices with their palates and stuff, personally, in my humble opinion. But it's wild, but because we grow organically so much on our, like, you literally can live somewhere and have an acre and have a little garden and live off of your food, like literally. In Uganda, there's not a lot of places in the world where you can do that and grow absolutely anything. Anything can be grown here and it will survive, it'll thrive, and you can actually live off of it and make money. So personally, I feel like we need some fusion. I love Asian food. Pad Thais, all of them ones, Thai food, wow, so good. They just play around with so many different things. They're just like, try this, try that. It's amazing. So I think we kind of need to start challenging ourselves a little bit more because there's only so many buffets I can go to with the exact same thing all the time. And everyone's always like, you live in Uganda. Why don't you eat more local food all the time? You will get tired. You will get tired because we don't have that. We don't play around with things. We don't have that many, like, you know. It tastes delicious. I've grown up on it my whole life. Love it. But we need to play around with it. Anyway, this is a little intro into food. I definitely want to get more into agriculture and sharing a lot of business ideas and ways to invest your money in Uganda through food. But we'll get into that in later episodes. So stay tuned. Every Sunday and Monday, these videos will be out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will check you guys in my next video. Bye guys.